Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem. Prime Minister, the Most Honorable Andrew Holness, Member of Parliament for Westmoreland Central, Mr. George Wright, Custos Rotolorum for the Parish of Westmoreland, the Very Reverend Canon Hartley Perrin, other councillors and political representatives here with us today, Pastor of the Petersfield District of Seventh-day Adventist Churches, Pastor Albert White, NHT Board Director, Mr. Doran Dixon, representing NHT Board Chairman, Mr. Linville Freeman, Managing Director of the NHT, Mr. Martin Miller, and the management and staff of the NHT, CEO of the Westmoreland Municipal Corporation, Ms. Marvelyn Pitter, representatives of the Housing Agency of Jamaica, our developers, project consultants, mortgage partner institutions, and other stakeholders, our residents of Shrewsbury and the wider Petersfield community, members of the media, other distinguished guests, our new proud homeowners, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It's a little wet, just a little bit, not too much, and a little cold, but notwithstanding, I am truly delighted to welcome you to this, our handing over ceremony to celebrate a significant milestone in the lives of another set of Jamaicans, courtesy of the National Housing Trust. Today, we will witness the tangible results of years of hard work, meticulous planning, and the collaborative efforts of many dedicated individuals and institutions. Today as well, we recognize a dedicated team of NHT professionals, consultants, and partner agencies in government, each of which play a crucial role in making today's event possible. And your presence here underscores the value that we place on community, on providing stability and security for our families, and on nurturing a brighter future for Jamaica. To our new homeowners, let me try that again. To our new homeowners, welcome home on behalf of the NHT. And welcome one and all to this, our handing over ceremony for phase 2 of the Shrewsbury housing development. My name is Dwayne Burbick, and it's my privilege and pleasure to guide you through the afternoon's proceedings, which will culminate in the handing over of keys to our new NHT beneficiaries. Having welcomed you all, our first duty of business is to bless today's activities, and most importantly, to bless the project and the new families that will put down their roots here at Shrewsbury. At this time, I invite Pastor Albert White of the Petersfield District of Seventh-day Adventist Churches to lead us in this blessing and invocation. Please, let's welcome Pastor White.
Inviting all to stand as we invite the presence of the Most High God. Shall we pray? Father in heaven, we acknowledge you as creator of this universe, the master builder, architect, of this world. We invite your presence to this momentous occasion as we say thanks, God, for what you have done. We are grateful, O God, for those who have worked tirelessly in ensuring that Jamaicans are able to find a house that they can call their home. We thank you, God, for the government of Jamaica delivering on its plan to provide housing solutions to the citizenry. We thank you for the National Housing Trust and all these beneficiaries, all these individuals who will call this scheme home. We invite your presence in every home, that you'd walk through every room, God, that you'd walk through every space, every corner, the perimeters of this scheme. We pray your blessing on these housing solutions. We pray your strength, God, that you'll strengthen the families, that they will be responsible stewards who will manage their home, that they'll be good neighbors, and that they in turn will contribute to society. Thank you for your presence, and have your own sweet way, we pray, in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you very much, Pastor White. The NHT's chairman is Mr. Linval Freeman. Mr. Freeman, however, is unavoidably absent this afternoon, but bringing welcome and remarks on behalf of Mr. Freeman and the Board of Directors is Director Doran Dixon. Ladies and gentlemen, please, let's welcome Mr. Dixon to the lectern to bring his remarks.
Prime Minister, the Most Honorable Andrew Holness, Mr. George Wright, Member of Parliament, Central Westmoreland, His Worship the Mayor, Councillor Bertel Moore, other political representatives and other state officials. Custos, I want to recognize you. You are not on my list because the speech was written before and not amended, but I recognize you. The JTA wouldn't forgive me if I didn't. Other political representatives and other state officials, my colleague J, NHT, board directors, management team and staff, project and community stakeholders. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. We are here not only to celebrate the handing over of the Shrewsbury housing development, but to underscore the strategic direction we are charting for the future. This development, with a combination of service lots and housing units, stand as a testament to our unwavering commitment to providing homes for our fellow Jamaicans. It symbolizes not just shelter, but the genesis of comfort, legacy, and the potential to build generational wealth. Today, we applaud the dedication and sacrifices of our new homeowners who will transform what is today a house into a place of promise and possibilities. At the heart of the NHT mission lies the belief that every family, regardless of their circumstances, deserve a life of dignity and fulfillment. We are uniquely positioned to understand what owning a piece of the rock, this rock called Jamaica, means. This is why we remain attuned to the needs of the very expansive and varied contributor base we serve. Our goal at the NHT has always been and will continue to be that every family has the opportunity to lead decent, satisfying, rewarding lives, regardless of their locality or position in society. To put things into perspective, we have recently increased our loan limits while still having the lowest interest rates on the market. We have introduced new financing arrangements for the convenience of our mortgagers. We have also expanded the offerings under our housing microfinance loan program by increasing the qualifying wage ceiling from 42,000 weekly to less to 86,000 weekly or less. This means more persons will be able to qualify for this loan product. The NHT has also increased the maximum loan limit under the program from $1.5 million to $1.95 million, which unlocks far more opportunities for our contributors. Contributors on the open market can use this facility to offset deposit and other fees associated with the purchase of a house, and beneficiaries such as those who receive lots today can use it to start their construction. This facility, in addition to our 100% financing for schemes, as well as our intergenerational and deferred mortgage facilities, continue to bridge the affordability gap for our contributors who need it the most. Yet, our ambition doesn't end at providing shelter. We aim to foster vibrant, sustainable, and secure communities. Infrastructure, both physical and social, lay the foundation for thriving neighborhoods. More than just providing shelter, we recognize the importance of facilitating the establishment of modern, sustainable, safe, and functional communities. This is why we have outfitted this community and communities such as this with certain physical infrastructure and social amenities, as well as areas earmarked for community recreational use. This idea of sustainability also extends beyond the communities we build. Construction and new housing development also provide opportunities to support businesses in surrounding environs and facilitates the development of other social infrastructure. Initiatives like the NHT Labor and Small Materials Program, under which Shrewsbury is being developed, is an example of this. It allows the NHT to bring affordable solutions to market while providing business opportunities for small contractors within the parish. Today, we extend our deepest gratitude to the contractors, the project teams, and the stakeholders who have turned our vision for housing Jamaicans into reality. Your dedication has ensured that these spaces are more than structures. They are homes filled with the promise of countless tomorrows. To our new beneficiaries, we extend a warm welcome to the NHT family. This is just the beginning, and we stand committed to walking every step of this home ownership journey with you. We implore you to safeguard this invaluable investment with the same determination that led you to this moment. In this shared milestone, we find not just a celebration, but a collective step forward to a brighter future. It is our privilege to stand with you, to witness your achievement, and to be part of this transformative journey. Thank you, and may this day mark the beginning of many more remarkable milestones. Bless you.
Thank you very much, Director Dixon. Indeed, today we celebrate not only the brick and mortar, but also the spirit of unity and the progress that has brought us to this occasion, and for our beneficiaries, what today truly symbolizes for them. And speaking of symbolism, our next speaker can perhaps do a much better job than I can of telling you the impact of a development of this nature for this particular community. At this time, let me invite Member of Parliament for Westmoreland Central, Mr. George Wright, who will come to the lectern to bring his remarks. Please make him welcome.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. The Most Honorable Andrew Michael Holness, Prime Minister of Jamaica, the Deputy Mayor of Sovlamore, Mr. Miles, the Very Reverend Hartley D. Perrin, Custos Recolorum of Westmoreland, Superintendent of Police, Mr. Wayne Joseph, and his team members, Mr. Martin Miller, Managing Director of the National Housing Trust and team, members of the media fraternity, homeowners, students, and most but not least, the people of the Petersfield community. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. You know, I noticed something earlier which I don't know if most of you would have noticed. But before the Prime Minister came here, there was a heavy shower of rain. And as he drove in, the rain cut. And as he take his seat, the rain start again. That means he brought blessings to Westmoreland. It is an honor to stand here today on this momentous occasion. Today represents hope, progress, but most of all, promise kept. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here to hand over new houses to our fellow citizens, making a significant step towards creating a brighter future for all Jamaicans, and that call for a round of applause. Mr. Prime Minister, I want to thank you on behalf of myself and the constituency of Westmoreland Central for the continued development you have brought to Westmoreland, and it gives us a sense of hope. We have new roads. We have new police stations. And I know thousands of houses will be built on the Paradise Main Road, just to name a few. And so much more infrastructure that we never had for decades. And sir, we are grateful. Today I join hands with Mr. Raphael Warnock that said, the pathway to housing should be fair and equitable for everyone. And access to affordable housing is the infrastructure people in our communities need to elevate families into the working class and middle class. It is the foundation that helps people support their families and contribute to the economy. These homes we stand before today are not just blocks and steel. They represent the fulfillment of promise made by this government to build Jamaica. And today, we can witness the reality of affordable housing. The importance of a safe and stable house is crucial. It is the foundation upon which individuals and families build their lives, chase their dreams, and strive. These homes are not just structures. They are becoming the cradle where the bonds of family and community will grow together. The demand for affordable housing is now higher than ever, and I am going to call on the Prime Minister to make more lands available to build more houses and continue the mission of putting more hard-working Jamaicans in their own home. Many of us come from far away just to find a job, and when we do find a job, we cannot find a place close to call home. Every day, constituents ask me, where can I find land to build? Where can I find land to buy so they can build a house? So, Prime Minister, more than 50% of our civil servants are living in rented properties and would love to have an opportunity to own their own house. On this note, I will ask you, dear Mr. Prime Minister, to fast-track the regularization of the informal settlement in Westmoreland so citizens can get the infrastructure they need to be comfortable in their humble homes. Mr. Prime Minister, it would be remiss of me not to make mention of some land space that the former Prime Minister, Ms. Simpson Miller, would have left over there. I understand that there's about 32 space over there. And I would love if you could check on them for me, sir, to see, because many persons here looking a spot. They need to own their own land. And I understand there are over 32 lots over there, right across the street. I would like to thank all those involved in the construction and planning, as well as the citizens who waited patiently for this day. As we hand over these keys to new homeowners, we offer them the promise of security, stability, and a brighter future where neighbors become friends and friends become family. Today, as we celebrate the handing over of these keys to new homeowners, let us remember that these houses are not just shelter, but symbol of what we can accomplish when we work hard, make sacrifice, but most of all, when we follow our ambitions. Let us build a future where every citizen, regardless of their circumstances, has a place to call home. I pray that these houses will be filled with love, happiness, and endless possibilities for the families who will reside in them. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Thank you very much, Mr. Wright, and we do echo your sentiments, and we do hope that Shrewsbury becomes that community where neighbors become friends, and indeed friends become family. And we're happy at the NHT to be contributing to the development that is happening in Westmoreland. I hear you mention new roads, new police stations, and I do believe, Mr. Miller, across this western belt, we are looking at approximately 8,000 new housing starts that will be added to the housing stock in Western Jamaica. So we hear your plea for more housing, and we say we're working on it. 8,000 more are coming. Thank you again, Mr. Wright. Ad astra per aspera, to the stars through bolts and bars. That's the motto of the Petersfield High School. Now, I know they may not be used to performing under such brutal conditions as these, but with a motto like that, I know they're giving us nothing but the best this afternoon. They're coming to us with a musical number, a combination of a dance and song. Please make welcome the Petersfield High School. Thank you very much, Petersfield High School. Ladies and gentlemen, another big round of applause for them. Thank you very much. Now, if I should look at handing over ceremonies and the groundbreakings from the NHT, let's say in the last 7 years or so, I would be hard-pressed to find an event where our next speaker has not been present, rain or shine. And he will tell you that his presence here today and on all these occasions to share in these key moments is a testament to his own personal commitment for housing Jamaicans. Prime Minister Holness, we're honored by your presence and we look forward to your address as we mark this significant occasion. Let me invite now to the lectern Prime Minister and Portfolio Minister with responsibility for the National Housing Trust, the Most Honorable Andrew Holness, to bring our keynote address.
Join me in once again applauding the performers from Petersfield High School. Let me thank Pastor Albert White for his prayers. I noticed you didn't pray for the rain to hold, but you may have had it in your mind. And so the rain is holding up. Nevertheless, we are appreciative of the blessings that it brought. We were going through a long period of drought for a few months, so we are very appreciative of the break in the drought, and we are hopeful that this rain that we're having will not cause any damage to infrastructure. So far, it has not, except that we note that in Kingston, it has caused some traffic snarls, which is expected because when it rains so intensely, so quickly, our drainage system was never built to deal with this excess capacity of water. Allow me to acknowledge my very good friend, the Custos of your parish, Canon the Honorable Hartley Perrin. And at my entry, I made sure to ask him to pray for me. And I know he will. Allow me to acknowledge the Deputy Mayor, Mr. Ian Miles, representing the Municipal Corporation and all the other members of the Municipal Corporation who are here. Board Chairman, Mr. Doran Dixon, ever reliable. Whenever other board members can't make it, Doran is always here with us at these handing over ceremonies. And other members of the board who may be here as well. Mr. Martin Miller, Managing Director of the NHT and members of the executive team. Allow me to make special acknowledgement of your Member of Parliament, Mr. George Wright. Now, it doesn't really matter which side of the aisle the MPs are from. Whenever they catch the Prime Minister, they are going to make sure in front of their constituents to show that they are making representation. So every problem that exists, they are going to bring it to my attention. And you must commend George because he has used the opportunity quite well to bring to my attention other areas of land which may be available to be used for housing for his constituents, even if those lots were designated before my time. And that is the challenge that prime ministers have, right? Everyone expects them to be able to deliver. Now, this particular Prime Minister gets a lot of requests. And I have to contend and contemplate that the reason for that is that I have delivered. And so people are of the view that I am able to deliver even more. So here it is, I am delivering on commitments made for housing, only to be confronted with other commitments that were made before my time, expecting me to deliver on those as well. Well, George, it is my job to deliver. It is my job to build. It is my job to get it done. And so, George, and all the people who are gathered here, the people who I serve, you have my assurance that I'm going to do everything within my powers for every moment that I have to work in your behalf to get your dreams and aspirations, your desires fulfilled. So allow me to acknowledge the beneficiaries of the Shrewsbury Housing Development Phase 2, and to say how happy I am that you are finally getting the opportunity to own your own home. I recall when we were doing Phase 1 of this, and we opened that, I gather. We did that, that was about, what, 3 or 4 years ago? Martin? Somewhere around that, we did that. It is always a pleasure to participate in these activities, these handing overs, groundbreaking, because it is an opportunity for Jamaicans to fulfill their dreams. All the beneficiaries here, I'm sure, are extremely delighted today that they are finally going to get the keys to their own house, to their own home. And I'm particularly happy that I had a little something to do with it. A little something. The NHT development here comprises 58 residential lots, and the houses on those lots were constructed under the NHT's Labor and Small Materials Program, the LSM program. 23 units were already built in 2020, and now we have constructed 32 additional housing units, 14 one-bedrooms and 18 studio units. Additionally, it is noted that there are 3 lots which are not yet available and will be partially used for road construction to connect the next phase. However, they are large enough for service lots to be made available thereafter. Of the 32 housing solutions, 25 eligible contributors were selected, as 7 solutions have been reserved for public sector workers and persons with disabilities. Of the 32 contributors selected, the gender of the selectees is almost equal. We have 13 females and 12 males. In addition, the highest number of selectees, 52%, earn between minimum wage and $30,000 weekly. Ladies and gentlemen, what this means is that the selectees, these selectees, will access their mortgages at, believe it or not, 0%. So 52% of the persons who are the selectees, the beneficiaries here, will get their mortgage at 0%. This is how the NHT is helping. Of note, 72% of the selectees are within the age group 41 to 60. Now, how do you describe that now? Is that the middle age? That what's that, young? Youngish. The youngish age group. Further, 36% of the selectees work in accounting, administration, in the clerical field, and 24% are in skilled services areas. 20% are working in housekeeping and the services sector as cooks and gardeners and bartenders, office attendants, stewards, etc. So there's quite a mix of beneficiaries representing all strata of the society. Now, since its inception, the NHT has contributed to over 3,000 housing solutions in Westmoreland through its various programs. And the NHT's current housing program includes 8 developments. These developments will bring to market a further 4,600 housing solutions in Westmoreland over the next few years. And you may be able to identify with a few of these projects. Savannah Park. This is going to be done under our guaranteed purchase program. We will be building 14 solutions there, and that we expect to be completed in 2024. Shrewsbury Phase 2, we'll be doing 27 units there, and that will be completed next year, 2024. Negril Spot, very large project. This is under our developers program. We will be doing 1,040 units there, and that will be completed in 2026. Sheffield Palms, this is under our guaranteed purchase program. 60 units will be built there. That will be completed in 2024. Paradise, this will be done under our guaranteed purchase program, and we will be building 2,453 units there, and that we expect to be completed in 2029, and I expect to be handing over those homes at that time. Fontabelle, this will be done under our developers program. 355 housing solutions in 2027. We expect that this will be done, and I will be handing that over as well. In Orleans, this will be a joint venture. 520 units in 2027. And Chantilly Gardens, under the guaranteed purchase programs, 135 housing solutions, and this will be in October 2026, making up a total of 4,604 housing solutions. Now, I want you to reflect on what I've just said. I'm giving targets that are quite some time off, 2029, 2027. But that is how long it takes sometimes from the conception of the housing project to securing the approvals, securing the financing, and then moving into the construction phase. In fact, the preparatory phases, securing the land, developing the concept, getting the approvals, putting in place the infrastructure, is sometimes, well, most times, longer than the construction phase. And it becomes even more complex in today's world because we have to contend with procurement regulations. We have to contend with all kinds of other reporting requirements. And therefore, the time period is elongated. So what it means is that the NHT has to be planning today for housing that will not get to market till 6 years. So the NHT's planning horizon is a very long planning horizon. And they have on their books there now housing solutions which are in advanced states of planning but will not get to market till another 3 to 6 years. So when we say that we are targeting, that is the NHT is targeting to build 43,000 new housing solutions, effectively, they have identified those 43,000 housing solutions. They have the land where it is going to go. They have designs for many of them. So they are now going through the approvals. They are trying to identify infrastructure. And one of the things that elongates even further the delivery time for these houses is the availability of sewage. So there are many projects that are on the books, but we haven't identified the water supply source as yet. We haven't identified the sewage as yet. And those issues elongate the development process. So I just wanted to bring you in to this process. But the houses are there, the plans are there, and they are working through them. Financing previously was another delaying factor. It is still a factor of concern. The NHT is a very well-resourced organization, but the demands on its resources are many, and therefore it has to manage its cash flow very carefully so that when projects are ready, the financing is there. And so we have gone through an internal process in the NHT to leverage the resources that we have to match the cash flow with the project timelines. And that you would have heard some advertising, and I spoke about this at my last NHT handing over, where we have made some changes to how loans are issued. And that is to enable the NHT to be able to use its own cash flow to finance projects which are ready for delivery. Very creative in the way in which we have gone about it, but it has no impact whatsoever on the customer. So even though we have made changes internally, the public is not affected by those changes. In fact, the public continues to get all the benefits that they previously got under the old financing arrangement. So I wanted to bring the Jamaican public into the conversation. There is a great deal of impatience, and rightfully so. A great deal of frustration, and rightfully so. Why does it take so long to deliver on the amenities that people need, the infrastructure that people need, the services that people need? So, Martin, I can only say to you, and your executive staff that is here, I know you're doing as much as you can. The executive staff, every time I speak, I know they are cringing because, because they know that I might be asking them to do something more on what we have already asked them to do. I'm not going to do that today. I know that the NHT staff is basically stretched now, based upon what we have given them in terms of delivering that 43,000 housing solutions. But I do ask you to move with greater speed and alacrity, certainly in terms of the administration and the bureaucracy over which you have control, to bring these projects more quickly to market. The beneficiaries here, when you look on their faces, they are happy, but they are still upset because they might have been waiting for how long? And that is the case with many Jamaicans. They hear us talk about the great things that are happening in the country, but they're still upset because it has taken so long. Not necessarily putting into context that the changes that we have had to go through to make it possible to get to this point, there's very limited appreciation. If I were making this presentation 10 years ago, I would not be able to read out to you 4,604 plans for housing. Because we wouldn't have the money to do it. That's the reality. Because we have made improvements in the economy, which has taken us a decade to get to that point, we are now focusing on trying to deliver services, amenities, and infrastructure to the people. So I'm not here asking for your patience. I'm asking for you to understand the context within which you live and exist. So I wanted to also bring to your attention, aside from just building houses and making them available, that the NHT also has a civic and social mandate to develop capacity, human capabilities within the housing sector. And as I had mentioned before, the NHT has a special program called the Labor and Small Materials Program. It was established by the NHT as a way to maintain the affordability of the NHT housing developments while facilitating the employment for small contractors. The objectives of the program are to construct NHT housing, standard housing units at costs based on the NHT's established rates and the bulk procurement of construction materials. Now, all of you here who are involved in anything to do with housing, you would understand that construction rates are unwieldy, meaning that you could get a contractor to do the same scope of work for one price here, and just down the road you get another contractor and it is a different price. So there's a great deal of variability. And the NHT, in trying to do small developments like these, which may be too small for large contractors, would face these kinds of variability if it were to just arbitrarily put these out to tender, which it does. But what it tries to do is to develop a cohort of contractors that understands the NHT's rates, and therefore when these works are let, their participation is more in line, so that you, the householder, get the benefit of reasonable prices. But the NHT goes one step further in procuring the materials. So again, if the procurement were left up to the individual contractor, again, the variability and the small size, meaning higher prices, would also affect the final price of the house. So the NHT in this program works with the contractors, establishes a pool, let them understand what the cost structures are, and procures in bulk the material. And all of that helps to control the cost of the unit, which you, the beneficiaries, get the ultimate benefit. But the program also helps to generate economic activity in the locale, in the area where the development is taking place. So the small contractors here benefit. But the real benefit in my mind is that the contractors get onto a program where they are properly monitored and supervised, and therefore they get to build to standards. Because one of the challenges we're facing, the NHT and everyone else who is in construction, is the quality of the contracting work. it's very rare these days that you can find someone who can say with confidence that they are a master craftsman. A master mason. A master carpenter. Very rare. And not all of them are exposed to the new techniques and technology in construction. Things that can make the work move more quickly. Integrate better practices in their construction methodologies. And so the NHT, in pulling together these contractors, it's better able to see to the elevation of the standard of these contractors. So I wanted to also bring to your attention that the NHT is not just building the house. The NHT is also trying to develop a core of contractors that can work on small housing developments like these, to build them to quality, build them to time and efficiency, and get them to you at a price that is affordable. So I want to commend the NHT for this initiative and encourage you to expand it even further. And I indeed recommend it to other entities of government who have to depend on contractors to do construction work for them. To be eligible for this program, the persons who are eventually selected must be registered with the Procurement Commission, formerly the NCC, the National Contracts Commission, as grade 3 or 4 contractors, building contractors. If they are a company, and usually we would want to deal with a company, the company must be in good standing and must possess a valid tax compliance certificate. So, currently, under this program, the NHT is constructing approximately 2,000 houses. So you can see it is a significant program right across the island. The public, I fear, Martin, is not quite aware of all the great things that the NHT is doing, and this is one of the good programs which need to be highlighted. And just for the record, some of the homes that are under construction under this program, right here in Westmoreland, Waterworks, 39 housing units. In St. Catherine, Morris Meadows Phase 2, 48 two-bedroom units. Granville in Trelawney, 58 two-bedroom units. Barham in Westmoreland, 6 studio units. Shrewsbury Phase 1, 23, well, this program. And Phase 2, 32. Darliston, again in Westmoreland, 29 two-bedroom units. Is it Maysmuir? Maysmuir in Westmoreland, 54 units being constructed under the program I just mentioned. Nashville in St. Mary, 40 units. In St. Catherine, a place called Marysfield, 18 two-bedroom units. Cashew Grove in St. James, 27 two-bedroom units. In Moneymusk in Clarendon, 45 one-bedroom units. Sevens Hummingbird in Clarendon again, 48 one-bedroom units. Windsor in Trelawney, 35 one-bedroom units. Colbeck Castle, Phase 1 and 2 in St. Catherine, 105 units. Colbeck Castle Phase 3, 100 units. Colbeck Castle Phase 4 in St. Catherine, 100 units. And Phase 5, 100 units. Shrewsbury 2 in Westmoreland, 27 units. Holland in St. Elizabeth, 100 units. And Kensington, St. Elizabeth, 40 units. So you can see that this program, where we are taking small contractors, missioning them, tasking them, providing them with access to materials, it is right across the island, and it is giving economic opportunity to these contractors, but at the same time, delivering housing for beneficiaries like yourselves. Now, as I've said repeatedly, your government wants to see all our citizens living in safe, clean, affordable housing. So providing adequate housing for our citizens is a priority for this administration, which is why I make the time to come to almost all of these handing over ceremonies. I'm certain, Martin, that by now I would be close to 100 such ceremonies, because I truly believe that housing is the foundation asset for every family. I truly believe that. And I put great effort into ensuring that the NHT and the other entities of government that are responsible for housing is actually delivering on the mandate. But I want to say, however, because whenever there's a discussion on housing, what usually happens is that what makes the news is someone complaining that they can't get a house and that the NHT is not doing enough to build houses. The NHT and the HAJ will not be able to build all the houses required in Jamaica. Our estimate is that we have a shortfall between the demand for housing solutions and what can be delivered, about 150,000 housing solutions. My recollection, and Martin helped me to give the right figure, I don't believe that in the 42 years of existence of the NHT has built 150,000 houses. No. So again, let's put the housing situation into context. If we are to rapidly build houses, and not just any kind of house, we have to build a house that you can afford. So if we are to rapidly build the houses that you can afford, we need to have the private sector building houses as well. And it needs to be done at such a pace and affordability that it is not worth your while to go and illegally settle somewhere. It is better, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to have government-sponsored housing through NHT and HAJ and private housing being built at a pace, affordability and availability, so that you don't have to squat, so that you don't have to go and capture land, that there is a housing market where all of you can participate in, that there is a house there at a price point that you can afford. And that is what we're trying to do. Now, the private housing market is doing very well. The challenge, however, is that, and this is usual with markets, private investors are going to place their money where they get the most profit. So you're finding that the private housing developers are focusing on the middle, upper middle, and upper. And they are delivering quite well. We have changed policy to attract private developers into the lower middle and the lower income housing categories. And we are seeing solutions coming to market in that regard. The problem, of course, is that as we set a target price to say this is the affordable price, there is a thing called inflation. Martin will recall that just before the pandemic, we were setting $8 million as the affordable target price for housing. And after the pandemic, that just went through the window. The price of steel doubled. The price of lumber almost doubled. The price of ply almost doubled. So that threw construction costs out the window. So that leads me now to speak about the significance of government policy. Now, I've had your attention on housing for 15 minutes. So you're going to be very good students, or rather congregants, and listen to my sermon, Pastor, for another 10 minutes, because I want to deliver to you an important message. Now, this business of inflation, it is insidious. It is destructive. It has an impact on you psychologically that you're not even aware. It makes consumers angry when you go with an expectation that this is the price of the commodity that I'm going to purchase. And then when you go to actually purchase it, the price is higher than what you expect. And then when you turn around and look at your income hasn't moved. So it means that either you have to forego it or consume less. Either case, your welfare and well-being is reduced. And that's the danger of inflation. If, as consumers, you are faced with this reducing basket and a reduction in your welfare, you're going to get angry. You're going to get frustrated. And who do you take that out on? You take that out on government. I was in Canada recently, and I must tell you, and I had the opportunity to converse with several other prime ministers, including Prime Minister Trudeau. And every one of them is facing the same challenge because of this business of the global inflation affecting cost of living in their country. If you follow the news in the United Kingdom, that is the main complaint. If you follow the news in Canada, when you talk to the people who are sending you remittances and your relatives and family members who are there, they will tell you the cost of living complaints. In the United States, it's the same thing. It is the reality of our situation. But if you were to compare how Jamaica has fared with other countries, you will see that your government, that you may be a little bit upset with, maybe a little bit frustrated, but your government has performed creditably. You may have a resistance in your mind to the fact, but if you were to remove biases and colored perspectives, you would have to come to that conclusion. When have you ever heard of a government of Jamaica going through a crisis like what we went through between 2020 and 2022? And immediately coming out of that crisis, our unemployment rate is the lowest it has ever been. When? Whenever have we been in a crisis? Whether it is a hurricane or oil price crisis, whatever it is. And your government was able to find $40 billion. The entire package of care that we gave out through that time is $100 billion. People who lost income because they had to stay home during the pandemic, they got a check to supplement their income. Almost 400,000 Jamaicans got a grant. All they had to do is sign up for it. When electricity prices went up, we gave a small subsidy. We increased the PATH program continuously. When has that ever happened? The inflation went up to almost 12%. But because of the government's steady management of the economy, it is now at 5.8%. When has that ever happened? When there was a global financial crisis of 2009, it took us 10 years to recover the loss in economic output. We have recovered in 2 years. We are back to our post-pandemic fall output and exceeding that. The national debt in the pandemic went up to 110%. You know what it is now? It is 78%, and at the end of this financial year, it will be 74% debt to GDP ratio. It has never happened. So I do listen very carefully to the expressions of frustration, and I understand it because inflation has that impact on the psyche and outlook of the electorate. But I urge you, be rational. Always seek context. Don't be led by what you see in front of you. Look behind it. Look at the broader picture. Because you hold in your hands a very important power, and that is to determine your future. And if you determine your future on falsehoods, if you determine your future on misinformation, if you consume some of the nonsense that I see people listening to, people who should know better, you will destroy your future. In today's world, every government is wrestling with the explosion of misinformation and the impact on their society. Just this morning, I was reviewing a program by the government of the Philippines. They are facing the same challenge. They are very concerned that the level of misinformation in their society, I mean, aside from the impact politically on governments, but just how it is impacting on how their citizens behave, that they have launched a program of media literacy just to ensure that their citizens, when they get the nonsense on their phones, that they are able to say, no, this is not true. Let me go to a verified source. But a lot of people are now getting information that is fake. And even when it says fake news, people believe it because it is in print. A few weeks ago, I had to dispel a rumor that the government was planning to change some pension policy. Now, this is an easy thing to find out. You could go on the GIS website, you could go on the Ministry of Finance website, but no, people who should know better were circulating a rumor like wildfire when the information is there. Media literacy. Now, can you imagine that this false information that people got about their pensions, a lot of people were making decisions to say, you know what, I am going to retire early so that this don't catch me. Can you imagine if we didn't catch that room and try to stop it, the human resource loss that the government would face because of a falsehood. It is a sad reality of the times in which we live, but I urge you to be very careful in the information that you consume. Times are hard, without question. There is inflation. When we say that 4.5% unemployment, clearly more people are working. But it doesn't mean that everybody has a high-paying job. That's the next phase now, how we're going to improve on upskilling our people so that they can get better pay. But it shouldn't be the case that you consume this falsehood that the information is untrue, that people are not employed. And that there are many people who believe that. So, the verified information is that Standards & Poor's, a rating agency, and Moody's Investors Service, another rating agency, has rated Jamaica very well. They have given us our highest rating. Our economy has gotten the highest rating it has ever gotten in the history of rating our economy. Yes. So people outside our economy, just looking at the objective facts, the figures, have come to the conclusion that Jamaica economically is doing well. What you feel may not necessarily square up with this, because you still have to contend with all the issues that are around you. Whether it is bad roads, can't get proper public transportation, issues to do with water, issues to do with housing. But because our economy is doing well, you should maintain a hopeful and optimistic posture that your government, with your involvement as citizens holding the government to account, will increase the pace at which it delivers the services to you. Which is why I go back to my point. We have the resources now, we have the plans, we want the NHT to increase the pace of delivery, to work faster and be more productive, so that you, the citizens, can have the benefit of that, to see the change in your well-being and your welfare, right? So your well-being and welfare now is not so much about the economy, it is how fast the government can convert the dividends of good economic performance into benefits for you. How fast can we procure the new buses? How fast can we fix your roads? How fast can we build the houses that you want? How fast can we repair the hospital? Good case in point, the repair of the Cornwall Regional Hospital. That is where we are now. That's where your society is. Give God thanks. We have essentially reached a new equilibrium in our economy, and now we're going to transition to ensure that the benefits from that new equilibrium in our economy can be converted very quickly into providing you with the services and amenities that will improve the quality and well-being that you want to enjoy. And that is where your government is now focused. Don't lose faith. Don't lose focus. Don't be distracted. We have never been in this good spot for our future development before. Let us not squander it because we have been distracted. Remain focused. God bless you and thank you.
Thank you very much, Prime Minister Holness, for that enlightening and at times sobering presentation. Roughly 20 minutes, 10 and 10, roughly 20 minutes long presentation. And taking us through those supply chain and logistic issues of the housing market and the various sub-markets of the housing sector. And of course, thank you as well for keeping us at 43,000 housing starts. And we take your note of speed and alacrity as we move forward with our housing program. So we've moved from build more house to speed. Build more house with speed and alacrity. Build them quickly, for short. We thank you for that charge. And at this time, we're now at our handing over ceremony. The handing over of keys to our new homeowners. And today represents your perseverance and dedication, which is now a reality. And as you receive these keys, may they serve as a reminder of the incredible achievement that you've unlocked for yourselves and also for your families. And I encourage you to cherish this moment and let it be a source of inspiration for this homeownership journey ahead. Let me invite back to the stage at this time, Prime Minister Holness to lead the handing over of keys to our beneficiaries. And we begin our presentation to our first set of homeowners. Let's make welcome Paul Stone and Chevelle Atkinson Stone.
Who do I give the key to?
Let's also make welcome Bian Bailey. Omaria Brown and Omar Brown. And you can encourage them, you know? Yeah, man. The applause sounds good. Let's also welcome David Chana. Let's also make welcome Joseph Francis. Nadisha Gray Mattis. And let me put some respect on that. Nurse Nadisha Gray Mattis. Juliet Gray. Keep that applause going as well for Amoy Evans and Constance Hudson. Nadia Letman. Anne-Marie McIntosh. And let me double down on my French pronunciation for this next one. Jean-Pierre Mackenzie. I hope you said merci beaucoup, Jean-Pierre. And we round off this set of beneficiaries with Carlene Mitchell. Thank you very much, Prime Minister. And just to remind you, ladies and gentlemen, 32 units in total, but just 23 are being handed over in this ceremony. And let me now welcome to the stage Member of Parliament for Westmoreland Central, Mr. George Wright, who will hand over the next set of our keys to our new homeowners here at Shrewsbury. And we begin this set of handovers with Leroy Mullings. Nordegay Atkins. Let's also welcome Diane Senior. Cosmar Smith. And we round out this set of beneficiaries with Donna Williams. Thank you very much, Mr. Wright. And let me now welcome NHT Board Director, Mr. Doran Dixon, to assist with the handover of the next set of our keys to our new homeowners. And let's give a big round of applause as we welcome Jacqueline Watson. Ainsworth Gardner and Granville Williams. We also have a key for Jodian Williams, being represented this afternoon, however, by Jacqueline Forbes Spencer. Let's welcome Simone Brown and Michael Williams. And finally, Doreen Wright. She's all smiles as she comes to collect her keys. And I think you brought the sunshine with your smile, Miss Wright. Thank you very much, Mr. Dixon. And another big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for all our beneficiaries this afternoon. And just a few more things to go. We're going to capitalize on that sunshine real quick, Prime Minister. We wanted to do a ribbon cutting and get a tour of our model unit, but just before we do that, Let's now invite to bring a vote of thanks on behalf of the new homeowners here at Shrewsbury Phase 2. A big round of applause as we welcome Ms. Juliet Gray to the lectern to speak on behalf of her new neighbors who will indeed become not just friends, but family.
Prime Minister, the Most Honorable Andrew Holness, Member of Parliament for Central Westmoreland, Mr. George Wright, Custos of Westmoreland, the Right Honorable Canon H.D. Perrin, other political representatives and state officials, members of the NHT Board of Directors and other representatives of the NHT, other stakeholders, and specially invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, my fellow elated new homeowners of Shrewsbury Phase 2, good afternoon. I feel very privileged to stand before you today representing the very ecstatic new homeowners in saying thanks for making it happen for us. Ladies and gentlemen, we are filled with great excitement and swelling with gratitude and pride to know that after all these years of contributing to the NHT, we now hold the keys to our house and our soon-to-be homes. It definitely makes life more meaningful to know that we can live now and leave a legacy for our families. This is really what you call security. I borrow the words of James Allen, who reminds us that no duty is more urgent than that of returning thanks. I therefore hasten to extend heartfelt thanks on behalf of all the recipients of this incredible opportunity we have been given, the gift of a new home through the National Housing Trust project. This is truly a momentous occasion for all of us, and it is an honor to express our sincere appreciation. Each homeowner's story has a different narration, but we all feel the same emotion right now, that is gratitude. We therefore would like to express our deepest gratitude, firstly to Mr. Prime Minister, and by extension, Team NHT, for your tireless efforts, dedication, and unwavering commitment to national development. You have made this dream a reality for us. Your vision and passion for creating affordable housing solutions have positively impacted our lives. While we thank the team for making it happen, we also want to highlight the team of the NHT Westmoreland branch office. Thank you. Thank you for your patience with us, the hand-holding and the guidance that you have given throughout the process. Of course, we also want to commend the team for their excellent professional service. Our gratitude also extends to the government of Jamaica and various key stakeholders that support this initiative and help to make yesterday's dream our reality today. We deeply appreciate your commitment to improving the lives of Jamaicans. To the architects, engineers, and contractors involved in the construction of our homes, we extend our sincere thanks. Your expertise, skills, and attention to details have created dwellings that will be safe and comfortable for us. The quality of workmanship is evident in every corner of our new homes, and we are truly grateful for your dedication to excellence. Mr. Chairperson Berbick, you kept the air live and celebratory. Thank you for easing our anxiety. The various speakers, thanks for your insight and inspiration presentations. The entertainers, the students of Petersfield High School, thank you for your electrifying cultural presentation. Thank you for keeping the Jamaican culture alive in our neck of the woods. Thanks to the stakeholders, the media and other special invited guests who traveled from near and far to witness this momentous occasion. We say thanks to the security detail for helping to make us feel safe and comfortable. We also express our appreciation for the event planner and various teams that make today possible. Thank you all for your active involvement and your willingness to go the extra mile. No matter who you are, your contribution is invaluable. To our families and loved ones who have stood by us, celebrating, supporting us during the period. From the day our names were published or we got the call that we have been selected, your support, encouragement, and understanding have given us the strength to make it today. We dedicate our homes to you as a symbol of our gratitude. I save the biggest thanks for last. We express our deepest gratitude to God Almighty, who is the author and finisher of all things seen and unseen. This invaluable gift have not only fulfilled our need for shelter, but have also instilled a renewed sense of hope, optimism, and belief in the goodness of humanity and our country, the Little Rock, Jamaica. In conclusion, receiving a home from the National Housing Trust is an immense privilege that none of us take for granted. We understand the value of this gift and the positive impact it will have on our lives and the lives of future generations. We promise to cherish and take care of these houses, creating homes and a nurturing environment for our families and a strong sense of community. Saying thanks is truly not enough to capture the gratitude of our hearts. Thank you, NHT, for being an important part of our story. A new chapter begins today. William Shakespeare penned it. I will paraphrase that as saying, we can no other answer make but thanks, and thanks, ever thanks. God bless you.
Thank you, Ms. Gray. That was rather eloquent, and I must say your choices in adjectives this afternoon were quite beautiful. Thank you very much, and well said on behalf of the new homeowners here at Shrewsbury. Some quick notes before we lose our son. Hope we don't. Motor vehicle licensed 1632JB, a gray Toyota Fortuner. You're blocking someone who needs to leave. So that's a gray Toyota Fortuner, license 1632JB. So quick things we're going to do. We're going to have a ribbon cutting ceremony and a tour of the model unit. So I'll invite PM Holness, Mr. Wright, Mr. Dixon, Mr. Miller, And they will be joined by our beneficiary, Mr. Jean-Pierre Mackenzie, who will do the ribbon cutting at the model unit to my right and a tour of the unit. We will forego the tree planting, but we will still provide all our new homeowners here with a tree that they will plant themselves on their property. As we invite our beneficiaries to the stage for a quick photo op with our Prime Minister and other officials, let me wrap up by saying a big thank you to all who made today possible. So beneficiaries, you can come with your keys, come with your packages. We're going to take a quick photo opportunity here. And as you come, let me use the opportunity to say a big thank you to the planning team, Mrs. Vidal in the Managing Director's office and the team, our acting SGM in Construction and Development, Mr. Michael Taylor, and your project team, your consultants, your contractors, everybody, a big thank you. Our branch staff, you heard in the vote of thanks how graceful they've been. Mrs. Theresia Daly, branch manager for Westmoreland, Mrs. Judith Newsom, our general manager for branch operations, and the entire branch network team, Edge Marketing for logistics and decor, PRS for audio and visuals. We couldn't do it without you this afternoon. For all the individuals who contributed in any way, shape, or form to this ceremony, we say a big thank you. And I'll round out by saying have a great afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Get home safely. And a big thank you to our marketing and sales team for your work on our model unit and ensuring the unit looks very great. And I know you couldn't do all that without the kind support of our partner, Quartz Jamaica. So a big thank you to you, Quartz, as well, for furnishing the model unit. And homeowners, as you go through, if you see anything you like, you know where you can get it, all right? You can get it at Quartz. So I think we have all our beneficiaries now. Okay, and a slight correction to my instructions. After the tour of the model unit and the ribbon cutting, we will in fact have been advised the provisions have been made to facilitate the tree planting. So Mr. David Channel will join the Prime Minister in the tree planting exercise.
Shortly around, share in the colorful thing that we keep. Can you come share in the colorful like this? Share
Before you leave, Mr. Miller.
Sorry.
A ton of space. So in fact, this is built to go on top.
Yes.
Yeah. So what I would do is would go.
Really?
Because more functional to get 2 bedrooms out, and I wouldn't have to worry about foundation work because of the slope of the land. Yeah. So to get this immediate space, I want up and then up.
So, 1 bedroom, let's check out what that looks like. So not much room with the second side table here, but it's a good start. They could choose not to have a dresser with them or perhaps put a TV somewhere in here. But it's a good starting space for someone who is a young professional.
Yeah, it's a starter home. That's what it is.
12.2.
That's what you're gonna get.
In this market,
In
and
this
you're right,
market.
pointed out with inflation and
Put
the
it go in the
cost.
corner so where we can get into the closet.
No.
Good.
It's for you. Stocked closet. Cupboard. Very nice.
So laminate counter,
It looks good. It's
laminate doors.
my personal view is that land might have been a little cost, but we should be able to build like this without the $12 million.
Maybe put in drywall on the inside. But I'm not into construction, I'm in marketing. So I leave it to my technical.
It's always very frustrating when we try to look at the figures that they present to us. It's weird kind of come from.